were talking about the fall harvest and the beauty of the fall here. And there's many things that we do in the fall that's slightly different than other times of the years. One of the things that we do is go cranberry picking. Did you know that right here in the wilds of Rhode Island that you can cranberry pick? You just march out about a mile into the woods, find some rocky moraine from the glacial recession, go near a pond, and all along the edge is the beauty of the cranberry. They're all over the environment there. And every year we go as a family, but since we started in&rsquo school, we made it an annual field trip, and we go picking cranberries with the students to make sure they keep on that tradition. And for the fact of our generations to know that there's wild cranberries right here in Rhode Island. Just a little secret, you don't need hip waders. On TV, that's what they make it look like, but they flood those. That's a man-made bog. Wild bogs, they actually have an ebb and flow from nature. In the spring, it's very, very wet. The ponds get too large and go over the banks and cover all the cranberry areas. And then as the summer progresses and it gets dry, it recedes. And by the time it's time to pick the cranberries, it has receded all the way back so that it's very easy to pick the cranberries. And they are very large and very juicy. So it's a beautiful, beautiful time of year. I mentioned the pemmican before, the beef jerky or the venison jerky. In our tradition, we would put the cranberries into the dried meat and nuts, and that makes like a perfect combination of a meal if you need to travel, if your hunters are traveling out on a hunting party. If they take that along with the cornmeal cake that you all know as the Johnny cake, we know it as the journey cake because you take it on a journey with you, and it's something that can stay right in your pouch, a little pemmican, a little cornmeal, and you have a totally well-balanced meal and with all bursting with great vitamins and that you need. So I'm going to let Paulla here tell you the story about the cranberry.
I told you how the strawberry came to be here. At that same time, Katanawit said there should be many berries, and they should all ripen in their season. He said there can be blackberries and blueberries and huckleberries and raspberries and mulberries. Yes. And he said, all you have to do is hold your head up and let the sun shine on you, and it will bring sweetness to you. Well, you know, in every crowd, there's somebody that says, me first. And in this case, it was the little strawberry. She perked her little cute head up with her little dimples and her little green cap, and she said, me first, me first. And so all the other berries said, go ahead, strawberry. And so when the sun came out, she held her head up high, and the sun just beamed down on her. And she told all the other berries, don't forget, be just like me, hold your head up high and get that sweetness. And all the other berries said, we know, we know, we know, all except the cranberry. The cranberry was laying back in the bog, just taking a little nap. Well, the strawberry ripened and he was collected. Then the blueberries ripened and they were collected. Then the blackberry. And one by one, each of the berries were ripening all through the summer months. But that old cranberry just laid back there and he was getting his Z's. Wasn't waking up for anything. Finally, the end of summer came and fall started coming. And old grandfather's son said, Katanawit, all the berries held their head up high, got the sweetness, and all the little boys and girls collected all the berries. And the grandmothers shared them and stored them and dried them and cooked them. And some ate them raw. Oh, they were so good. All except the cranberry. And he's sleeping right over there in that bog. He said, it's time for me to go into my winter home. Katanawit said, go, grandfather's son. And the sun moved further and further away from the earth. And Katanawit made a cool, sharp wind come. And when it blew across the water, that little cranberry woke up and he looked up. Oh, I've got to hold my head up in the sun and get some of that sweetness. And then a light frost came and that berry turned bright red. And he said, oh yes, I'm holding my head up. I know I'm getting sweetness. Finally, when it turned bright red, the boys and the girls went out. They found the cranberries and filled their baskets and brought them back to the grandmothers. And grandmother says, "Oh, they look good. We'll make something with them." And grandmother said, "Let me take a bite of one." And she bit into it. And it was taut. Oh, it was so taut. She put them all in the bowl, ready to go on the fire. And she took some of that maple syrup and sweetened it up. And that's how we sweetened our cranberries. But from that day on, grandmother told all the little boys and girls, when you go outside, hold your head up high. Let that sun shine in on you so that you will have the sweetness and you won't be taut like the little cranberry. I thank you.
Thanks for watching. This podcast series is presented by Tomaquag Museum. Visit our website at www.tomaquagmuseum.org. Tomaquag Arts programs are sponsored by Amica Insurance, Auto, Home, Life, Amica. Support this and other great podcast content at our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/Artways.